Welcome to The Miracle You, guiding you on the journey towards finding passion and purpose and how to discover, create, and live a life by your design. Whether your success has been plentiful or your missed opportunities have been overwhelming, we can help you become a more empowered, masterful person and show you how to share your gift with the world. It's time to inspire change from within with the host of The Miracle You, Vince Kramer.
Hello, imagination. I'm Vince Kramer, your host, and welcome to The Miracle You, where you learn about the magic of living your life by finding the example in real life. One of the most important things that I share with people through Imagine Miracles is that we all have wake-up calls in our lives. Today's episode is really going to emphasize that those wake-up calls aren't necessarily drastic. They're not necessarily a knock on your head or somebody or something shaking you up to a point where you have no choice. Sometimes those wake-up calls are very subtle. Just an understanding that my life isn't going the way I want it right now. Today's guest shares about how boredom actually opened her eyes to understand that there was more to life. And then as she shares her journey and her story, I want you to pay attention to the fact that all along the way, she was getting messages on the next step to take, the next place to go, the next person to see. And because she took advantage of those messages and actually followed through with them, took action on them, it completely changed her life. And she has gone from a closed up, very shy, very inhibited person to one that is out there in the world and helping people discover themselves in ways that most of us are very uncomfortable in discovering. So the wake-up calls come. Sometimes they're very subtle, but there's messages that come after that all along the way, and all you have to do is take action. I'm with Klana Ludwig today, and Klana is a high-performance leadership coach, healer, body worker, speaker, author, and co-author of 2 books. After 30 years of working in the corporate world, she moved to the Spanish island Ibiza to follow her curiosity and explore and discover her true purpose. With the help of her coaches and trainers, she transformed herself from an unhappy, frustrated workhorse into a sensuous woman who loves her real self and her life so much more. She is passionate about this field because of her own struggles with not feeling sensual, sexy, or feminine. Klana began her studies to learn more about how to overcome her own shame in connecting with men and how to have a better sex life. Klana is on a mission to bring the topic sexuality out of the taboo zone. She is convinced that if everybody lived in the sexuality they need and want, there would be peace on earth. Klana Ludwig, are you ready to share the miracle of you with the imagination?
Yes, thank you, Vince, for the introduction and especially for inviting me here for the podcast.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you here. I love the diversity of people that are coming on the podcast and how we're kind of opening up different parts of ourselves to the world through what people are sharing on the podcast. And I know that bio doesn't come close to doing justice at all. Could you tell us a little bit more about you and what you're doing in the world now?
Yeah, I am helping women especially, but also men and couples to have a magnificent life, so to speak. And there are several areas in your life that belong to that magnificent life. So first of all, do they know what they really love to do, or are they already doing that? And then, of course, my main thing is how is their sex life? Are they content? Are they living the sexuality they want and they need? Are they full of shame and guilt? This is how most of us are raised. And then there is that aspect of spirituality, so that people put all that together and really live in alignment.
Let me ask you this, Klana. With what you see in the belief systems that are tied to sex, to sensuality, how is that a reflection of people's overall belief systems? And I'm kind of talking about as an individual. Do you see a true pattern in their beliefs when you're looking at the sensuality and how they look at that and how they look at life?
Let's take myself. I think I'm always the best example for all those things. I was completely inhibited, I think, until I was 50. Somehow, that's where my life changed completely, and I started to look, what else can I do? And then I discovered my sensuality. And before that, I was rigid in my thinking. I was really biased. I was not really open. I was quite tolerant. I was not one of those who were really closed up, but quite closed up and pretty German. So, and with time, with discovering myself, my real self, and also my sexuality and my sensuality, that opened up. Yeah. And it's such way more freedom than I ever had before.
Our work with Imagine Miracles is really helping people find their selves, really finding their answers. What order for you? What order did that come in? Was it you found yourself and then was open to your sensuality, or was it kind of both of them just kind of opened up together?
It opened up together somehow, but it started with me being life coached. So I had a coach, and they helped me to get out and to figure out, what do I really want to do in my life? Who am I? Because like so many, I just followed the path that somebody showed me, first of all, my parents, and then what society offers. So you take the job where you can get a job. So yeah, more or less like that, and not really where the passion is.
Mm-hmm. It's very important that you mentioned that. You need someone in your life to help guide you, someone who's willing to ask the hard questions, and even better, willing to wait for the answers that are hard for you. So I appreciate you bringing up the fact that a coach was the one that helped you along that path. What really got you to a place? You said when you turned 50, you realized, life needed to be a little bit different. It sounds to me like that's a wake-up call. Could you kind of explain it a little bit to us?
There was nothing special happening, at least I don't remember. But around that time, I thought, oh my God, another 15 years until retirement in this job. No way, because I couldn't see any development there. I was there for 10 years already. It was a good job. It was well paid. It was almost secure, how secure it can be. But I was bored. That's it, exactly it. So my motivation was boredom. And I think boredom is sometimes even worse than being stressed out, or at least the same.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And, we call them conscious wake-up calls, conscious in the fact that there's got to be more to life than this. I'm tired of living by these rules. This isn't what excites me. Those are just as big a wake-up calls as anything else. So when you got that wake-up call, you got your coach. What kind of walk us through the process where the aha came that, this is what I'm supposed to be doing with my life?
That was really slowly. So the way I learned coaching, so it was this same. We did same things we did several things at the same time. At the same time, I was coached. I was trained to become a professional coach. And the method we learned is follow the curiosity of the people, follow their light. Where do they light up? And then try that out with little projects. Not as I was trained before. You would take a job that you get and some things like that. And then the idea you have, and then you go to the bank, you borrow the money, you do it, and then, oh, it's not what I wanted or what I thought it would be. And then you are in debt or whatever. So, and we chose to do little projects, and I started coaching groups and so on and so forth. And then at one point, I thought I'm going to do a massage course, which was something totally out of my usual thinking. I don't even remember how I got there. I did that, and then I mixed that. So I offered on Ibiza, where I was living and being trained at that time, I offered massage courses and coaching at the same time. And then something funny happened, because when I gave out some flyers over the little town I was living in, I used the words that I got from people. So touch in another dimension, and take some time for your sensuality, and especially that word. I used it in the naive sense, but some men didn't get that in the right way, so they wanted to have some special massage. So at the beginning I said, oh, no, that's not what I'm doing. I'm doing this and this. But at one point I said, why not? So, but this is a completely other story. That was the way how I entered that space of sexuality. And I subscribed for a class to become a sexological body worker. Yeah. And that was the next very important step for myself, because I realized after I subscribed there for the training that it's nothing that I can only learn in theory and then do onto people. No, it dawned on me, I need to go through all that. And that was really something. As I said at the beginning, I was completely inhibited, and that was, but it was so helpful.
Oh, I bet. Let me ask you this. I want to reflect back a little bit. So what you said was, as you started finding yourself in what the things that you were enjoying, other stuff started showing up in your life to kind of take you in the direction that you've gone. Did you always listen to those little messages? Did you hear them when you were younger and pay attention to them? Or did you just become aware and really start following the messages when you found yourself?
Absolutely. It only started in my high age of 50. Before, I always say I have a life before Ibiza and after Ibiza. And that is totally contrast. It's 180 degrees different. As if I had not lived my own life before. This is really, really interesting.
It sounds like Ibiza was kind of a bit of a wake-up call too. Is there anything that happened there that really, really opened your eyes?
Yeah, especially the coaching, which was fantastic. And my coach and mentor there, he had the gift, he still has the gift to see people. So to be honest, the very first thing he told me was, you are a sex coach. And at that time, I was exactly, what is he telling there? What a bullshit. And it took me about 2 years or so to really get there somehow. Or even more, I don't know, 2 or 3 years.
Because you had subtle wake-up calls, I want to ask you this. Now that you've had this wake-up call and you're moving in the direction that you're moving in, and it's going very, very well, I want to share with the audience your life is moving definitely in the direction that it's supposed to move. If you look back now, is there any wake-up calls that you had before that you just didn't pay attention to?
That is possible, but I didn't pay attention so that I don't remember.
Wow. Okay. Super. Well, and that's sometimes happens quite a bit. The reason I ask is there was many for me that it was like, why didn't I pay attention to that? Why didn't I notice that before it got drastic? I mean, my big wake up call was a divorce after 21 years, and it was a complete surprise. But if I look back, there was so many other little things that I could have paid attention to.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe all those not working out relationships and keeping men at a distance, those things. But I did not realize that and I wouldn't label it as a wake up call.
Mm-hmm.
But to be honest, I believe that everything on my way is right as it was.
Mm-hmm.
If something would have happened earlier, I don't know if I would be here where I am now. So everything is totally fine.
Oh, I agree. Could you share with us some of the things that you can look back on now and say, this was preparing me to be a sensuality coach, to be who I am in this world?
Not really. No, I can't tell.
Okay. So let's talk about miracles a little bit. This is my favorite part of the show. Actually, my second part. My favorite will come right after this. But our definition at Imagine Miracles of a miracle is through an act of love, sharing your gifts and talents with the world so others can share theirs. And the work that you're doing right now, how is that helping others share their gifts and talents?
I am convinced if you love yourself, which took a long time for me to learn, and in all facets, not only in the mind, how do you say? Also in the sexual way.
Okay.
Not the sensual way. So not only mentally, I think that was the word I was looking for.
Okay.
And I think that is the most important thing for everybody. And then be true to yourself. Act out of your truth. And I'm not sure if you can have that from, yes, of course you have it from the beginning. If before, as a baby, when we come, there is nothing that disturbs us until we get educated and our branches are cut. But if that happens, you really need to go back there if you want to have a really happy life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's such great advice for sure. Has there been any miracles in your life?
The biggest miracle was really that with Ibiza, that I realized, hey, I'm not who I thought I am. I am completely different. And I am bold and I am wild. I'm not the good girl that everybody thought I was. And I believed it by myself. I can get out of myself. But I really needed help from somebody else. I haven't been without a coach ever since. So the work you are doing as well is so much needed.
There's a collective energy that comes when a group gets together, and the imagination is a pretty powerful group when it comes to energy. So we would like to share our collective energy with you on a project that you've got coming up or a direction that you would like to go. And I'm hoping that you're going to share with us something that no one else knows. This is something that's just kind of hiding inside of you, ready to just explode out into the world in your business. Is there anything there that we can share this collective energy with you for?
Ooh, somehow, do you mean somehow like a wish?
Yeah, like something that you want to happen in your life, something that you want to happen in your business right now. So we can give you the energy of this group to help you manifest that.
Yeah, I would really love to get known to some degree, so that I am able to help way more people than I'm doing now to find themselves, and of course to live the sexuality they want to do and have the harmonious relationships, not to forget, because that's also a very important component.
So if we can put a really powerful message out to the universe, what would being known look like to you?
that people see, okay, there is that Klana, and she can help us, or me in that case, she can help me to love myself totally, completely, with all aspects and facets, not only mentally, but also physically and spiritually.
So we're going to put all that energy out there to
Yeah.
help people find you and to get Kalana out into the world. I think that is so powerful.
Yeah, because if people are living their essence and the sexuality, I need to come with it again, without shame and guilt, I am convinced there are no wars anymore, and we will have peace on this earth, and that's the end goal. You can see it like that.
Peace on earth, bringing heaven to earth. I'm with you there 100%. A kind of a bit of a coaching question here, so I apologize, but what is the biggest thing holding you back from experiencing the life that you want?
Yeah, that's a very, very good question. This is somehow I'm hesitating, and that's the same holding back. But I am, I don't know what fear it is, because I went through so many things. There shouldn't be fear. I know it already, and but still, I'm not perfect yet. So I'm always, like my clients, still working on myself to overcome all those fears, those resistances. Sometimes it's the same. Sometimes it's just that it's uncomfortable, and to overcome it and just do it. And now my next step is already done, half. I decided to leave my wonderful island and go to my next destination, which is Berlin in Germany, to even spread my word wider. Because in Ibiza, everybody's pretty much open already. But in Germany, I think they need my services more.
Once again, listening to that calling and listen to that message is so important. And your answer, I really appreciate your answer, because one of the things that I hope the imagination and I hope the world realizes is there are a lot of fears and a lot of beliefs that we've built up over the years. And it's not necessarily going to be, I'm going to sit down and everything is going to be just perfect because I've got it figured out right now. There's a process that we go through, and we do uncover, and there still is that element of putting yourself out there, and those fears are very important, and it's okay to have them over time. That's part of the journey and part of the excitement. So that answer was right on target with sharing with the audience that it is a journey. It is not, I'm going to go there and I'm at my destination. There is a journey, and the journey is exciting too.
Yeah, because right at the beginning of my change, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and that was what held me back at that time, a few years ago. But when I got that with the push of and the help of my coaches and mentors, then other things pop up.
What was the best advice you ever got?
The best advice, it wasn't really an advice, it was more like an instruction of my mentor. He told me, first go to Hawaii, to Honolulu for a few weeks. And the next thing was Austin, Texas. And I was first resisting, but then I did it. And I was resisting because I didn't want to sit in an airplane for such a long time. I'm talking to the right person. But then when I did it, it was the best decision I ever had, because after going to Ibiza, because that opened up my little world here in Europe, and to see other aspects, to get to know other people. And sometimes, that might be an aspect for somebody who listens. If you leave your home, whatever home is, it's not only your house, and go to another country, then you will learn different things.
Mm.
It's like leaving your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm. Stepping out of the safety.
Yeah, exactly.
And Austin, Texas. What did you learn in Austin, Texas?
First of all, it's similar to my little island Ibiza, even though it's a big city. They are quite open there as well, and wonderful, beautiful people. I just love it there. And if it would be easy to go there, I would be there.
Mary and I were going to open a retreat center there. We ended up opening one up in Colorado, but we spent a lot of time in the hill country there at Austin. And I agree with you tremendously. The people of Austin are pretty open, and the energy flows fairly freely there. So
yes.
I know what you're talking about. Do you have a favorite inspirational quote?
Yes. It has to do with the comfort zone. I don't know if it was Brian Tracy or somebody else. Move out of your comfort zone. You can only grow if you are willing to feel awkward and uncomfortable when you try something new.
Well, that is your quote, isn't it? From stepping out of the world that you were in before into the world you're right now, you definitely stepped out of your comfort zone.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm still staying in my comfort zone from time to time, way too long. But it's important to get out of it.
Could you give us a piece of advice when it comes to comfort zone? Something to help people step out of theirs?
You just keep your vision up. What do you want to do? Do you want something different, or do you want to stay where you are? And if you want to stay where you are, you don't need to change. But if you really want to change or have even something concrete already, just look at that and then move. One little step after the other. It doesn't always need to be such a big decision that I did when I moved to Ibiza and left everything behind, completely, little by little. Your tempo, your pace.
Is there any secrets in allowing yourself to want something?
I'm learning that. I'm still learning that. Yeah.
I got you.
That's a nice question.
I do understand. I've got you 100%. But that's what I see in a lot of people that we work with, and a lot of, it's easy for people around you to see the magic in you. It's easy for the people around you to feel the energy, the essence that you're putting out into the world. And it's really tough for us to see that. So I think it's interesting, and like you said, it's a process for all of us to allow ourselves to want something, to allow us to move beyond the belief that I'm not good enough, or I'm not this, or I'm not that, and to step out into the world. So thank you for the vulnerability of sharing that I'm still in that process. Because it's important for the imagination to hear that we're all in some sort of process, and it's okay. And what you said earlier about having a coach, and how important it is for you to allow your eyes to be opened by the coach's questions in the direction that you're going is excellent advice. I know there's people that want to know more about you, and especially because you're going to get out into the world and you're going to be known. Can you share how people can get in touch with Klana Ludwig?
Yes, I have a website with my name. It's klana.us. That's the English page. And I'm on Facebook as well. And Facebook, you find me with Facebook.com/klana.tv.
All right. All that information is going to be on the show page. So it's very easy. Just go to the Miracle You, that's with a capital U.com, and look for Klana's episode. I want to share with you today, Klana, that I truly appreciate you and what you're bringing to the world and your honesty and vulnerability. It's so important for people to see that the journey is something that takes some time, and that the journey is all well worth it, though. Unfortunately, because this is distant audio, people can't see you beaming on the screen like I'm seeing. But when you start living on purpose, when you start really sharing yourself with the world, you can't help but shine out like you're shining. And I want to thank you for the example and coming on and sharing with us your story and the steps that you've been taking.
Thank you so much, Vince. And this is exactly also your job. You are bringing people to shine like this.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. On behalf of Mary, my business partner, and my wife, we want to wish everyone a miracle day.
You've completed this episode of The Miracle You, but we have plenty more to help you discover your own personal passion and purpose. Head over to themiracleyou.com for free resources to assist you on your journey, as well as register for our free webinar, Discover Your Miracle Life, 3 mind-awakening steps toward your unique purpose, or apply for a one-on-one Your Life, Your Way breakthrough session and discover your next best step on your journey. All available exclusively on our website. That's themiracleyou.com. We look forward to sharing more experiences of passion, purpose, and life by design next time, right here on The Miracle You.